All right, we got 3.0 Duramax. Got in my hands, and as you can see, I pulled off the front cover, the top cover, and what I have is the radiator is pulled back just a little bit. I'm trying to be very gentle with it because I don't want to crack the radiator. We know how soft those are and how fragile they are, so I just pulled this back. I got maybe a ½ an inch. But what that does is it allows me to see the water pump now, and then the tensioner, which can't be seen, is actually inside there. So I will be able to reach around under there, loosen the tensioner, get the belt off, and then I can go ahead and take the bolts off for the water pump itself. And as you can see, there's not much to the water pump. I also have the charge air cooler hose removed, and I've got it clamped off so we're not leaking. As you can see, there was some pressure in the system, so don't forget to release the pressure with the cap before doing this. But with this water pump failure, I had coolant all over the place as it was. But again, there's the water pump. You can see direct access to it. And here we are from the outside of the engine. All right, to take off the tensioner, you can see my ratchet is right down there. It is a 3/8 drive. I do have just a straight ratchet with a small extension on it. Maybe you can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just reach in from here, get that belt off. The belt is saturated with coolant, so I should replace that, and I may add that on there, but that's it. That's how you get to the belt right there, just like that. With the belt off, we can now see the bolts on there. We're gonna go ahead and start removing those right now. Unbolting the water pump right now, I have the new water pump up here. It's in the same direction as the old pump. And so you can see I'm pulling out the bolts one by one because they are different sizes. I also saved the last, or the top bolt for last. You can see the long bolt here, and there's a long bolt there as well. But we're gonna go ahead and take off that last bolt. But I wanted to point this out, that is a good idea to do to keep track of your bolts. Water pump is out. This one actually, there's a lot of play. You can't do it with one hand, but maybe you can hear that. So what we'll do is clean off the surface down there. And then after that, we'll put the new gasket on with the new pump. There is one dowel on the back of the pump to help you align it. 2 dowels, excuse me. So we'll go ahead and clean that up, new gasket, bolt this back on. I want to give a warning that these are very, very sharp right here. And these 2 bolts are your 2 long bolts. And those are one-time use bolts. So we're going to go ahead and use the new bolts. But yeah, just want to give a warning. These are really sharp and they will cut you, really will. And however you decide to do it is up to you. Just showing my way. All right, the belt is definitely among the tougher of the parts. Here's the part number that I used this time for this vehicle. Now, as you can see, I have it set up into place. I did the bottom first, and then I wrapped it around, and I have it set like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get my ratchet on the tensioner. I can't video this because I need all the hands that I can possibly get, but I'm gonna pull the tensioner down and then loop that over the water pump. Wish me luck. All right, I'm gonna give you the secret of the belt right there. Let's go ahead and pull this off. There it is. Long ratchet through the top with a lock like that. That allows you to use your left hand on the belt to get it all set up. Make sure you got it on all the grooves. Good to go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and release tension of this strap so you can see how much it moved. Not much, but that little bit helps right there. I'm telling you, when you're trying to get your arm squeezed in there. All right, the proper way to fill this is with a vacuum fill type setup, and that's the way that I'm doing this. Many people just fill it through there and they get air bubbles and work through it. In the end, you can do that. This is the proper way to do it, a vacuum fill type setup. For the coolant reservoir for the charge air cooler, I'm just gonna top that off, and then I'll run the pump and get all the air out of that. If there's any, but it should be minimal. But that's it. Fill it, make sure it's good to go, no air bubbles. It should be good.